I'm waiting for the day where we make a sale on an LG smart fridge. That's really what I want. I want to see that statistic come through.
I wonder if we can program a discount for purchasing smart fridges.
Dear listener, there's only one way to find out if we've done this already.
Go check.
Hello and welcome to the Open Hardware Manufacturing Podcast. My name is Stephen Hawes.
And I'm Lucy Chapar.
And today we're talking about advertising. Not just marketing, not all the marketing stuff, but ads. The dirty, evil deal of running ads in the world.
Your favorite thing on the internet.
Yeah. Sorry for our contribution. But yeah, we get into all the different kinds we've tried. We've learned a ton about who our customers are, how to waste a lot of money very quickly, a lot of things in regards to advertising. And I think we have some good please avoid this advice at this point. Although we still have a lot to learn in this department. I think we've been hesitating about making this episode for a while.
Yeah, and that's because I think we get to feel like we've totally got this down pat.
Yeah, I agree. But we do know we've done a lot of stuff wrong.
Yeah, and that's helpful in its own right.
It is helpful in its own right. So yeah, ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So big disclaimer up front. We might poo-poo advertising a little bit through this. We have found a fair amount of stuff that does work, but know that this is like every other episode we've ever recorded of this thing. This is just our experience. This is has what worked well for us. And we have had good experiences with advertising, but we're going to tell you some bad ones too.
Yeah. And also to add on to that, we sell a machine that cost a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
This is not t-shirts and mugs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a different kind of thing that we're trying to do. And we'll talk about specifically why that matters with this a lot later. Cause we learned the hard way why sometimes, a $2,000 machine does not a good advertising content make, it's a little Yoda line there, but it just doesn't quite, we'll get into it later.
Yeah. And you actually have a good Seth Godin quote about actually.
Yes. So for those who don't know Seth Godin, he's a very interesting guy. I like a lot of his content. Highly recommend reading The Dip by Seth Godin. You can kill it in 2 hours. It's a great book, but he's big on advertising and stuff. And he specifically about marketing more broadly. He says that marketing is the act of helping someone solve a problem. He says a generous act, which I think is a little haughty, but is the act of helping someone solve a problem, their problem, which is an interesting angle. Is if you are doing a good job with marketing and advertising, you're like, yo, you have a problem. I can solve that for you. Do you want to eat a turkey sandwich? Guess what? I sell turkey. I can solve your problem here. Go buy my turkey. And ideally, it's helpful for everybody. It's letting people know that a solution exists.
If you were to apply that to us, it's the customer has a problem getting circuit boards built quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It might not even be about populating them. It's how to get them faster or cheaper without going abroad.
Right. Quick iteration, quickly going through it. That's their problem. And we only want someone to buy a Lumen if it does solve that problem for them. Seth Godin says, it's bad marketing if you pressure them to buy it or if you're trying to convince them to buy something that they don't need or want. So don't do that. What we're talking about here is the exercise of finding the group of people that your thing solves the problem of. That's the whole point. And anything beyond that is just kind of scummy.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to sell your product to the wrong fit.
Right. Yep. And we say that to a lot of people that sometimes we'll get people that email us. They're like, hi, I want to buy a Lumen. And we're like, cool. Why? And they tell us kind of what they're into. And we're like, we actually don't recommend that you buy one. It actually doesn't really, we don't think it's going to solve your problem. Maybe try XYZ instead. So just a kind of an upfront thing about advertising and marketing in general, just kind of how we think about it and how we try and approach it, underpinning for the rest of this conversation.
For sure.
And specifically, we're talking about ads. We could do a whole other thing on marketing. We've done a lot of YouTube stuff. It might actually be interesting to do an episode on YouTube or social media marketing. Maybe kind of interesting. But for ads specifically, I find them to be really spooky because you're just kind of pouring money into a hole.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's doing anything for you unless you measure it. You have to have a way to measure it.
Yeah. Ads it's a way of buying people's attention. And these experiments and trying them out can be quite costly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Tossing $100 into a campaign to see how efficient it was doesn't get you that far.
Mm-hmm. It really doesn't. And sometimes you need to do a lot of those $100 campaigns to figure some of that stuff out. And it's tough. You have to have a way to measure it. And it blows me away that people will get billboard ads. They must do it because it does work. right? Like they must do it, but there needs to be a way to know like, hey, did someone see my billboard and did it result in them actually calling the phone number or using my service or whatever? So there has to be some way to collect that. We do an exit survey.
Yeah. We don't have billboard as an option on there yet.
I don't know if we ever will. But like after you buy something on our web store, it says like, how'd you hear about us? And that's like a pretty good way to close the loop and be like, okay, what are we doing that's working pretty well? But yeah, ads are spooky. And we'll talk about this later, but like I didn't do them so good. Like, was it last year?
2 years ago.
Was it 2? I thought it was last.
Time blurs for us here.
It was 2. Okay. Yeah. We did like 2 bouts of it. I think it was the main one was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where I was like, hey, we haven't done anything for ads. And I felt like I was dropping the ball on like, hey, we should really be trying to run ads. Like, why am I not doing this? Like, we should be exploring this.
Yeah, we thought it might be free money. Like,
yeah. But maybe every dollar that goes in, $1.30 comes out. And like, that would be awesome. You know, that'd be cool. We're telling more people about this thing that will solve their problem. We're growing the company, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't that at all. It wasn't good, but we'll get into that later.
And another tough thing about this is that you are not the target audience. You are not the customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know your product inside and out. So your favorite ad might not be the best ad.
Yeah. Actually, it's probably not the right one.
I would assume it isn't.
Yeah. Which is weird because ideally, if you're trying to like push something out there, like you're kind of your target market, you know what the pain of hand assembling a lot of PCBs is like. You're going to make the pick and place. You're going to know how to talk to those people. So like part of that, I think there's some truth in there, but you also were like too steeped in it. Like, you know, too much, you make too many assumptions about what words people know, what vernacular is commonplace.
Yeah.
You're actually probably pretty not good at it.
Yeah. Like what's a feeder if you've never looked at a pick and place machine?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like who knows? That needs to be described. I recently, when I've been telling people about what a feeder is, I describe it as a type of cassette. Because like the word cassette just feels like a more accurate word to convey the idea of what a feeder does, you know?
Oh, I've been pulling you on board to that one then.
Hey, was that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cassette is a good, it feels like that is the correct noun, you know?
It's like a Pez dispenser for your part.
Yeah, exactly. Like what is that description that also isn't like that an electrical engineer will be like, oh, okay, I know what this is, but also I don't want to buy a Pez dispenser. You know, like where's that threaded line? It's hard to do. So I think of ads as like the OG YouTube thumbnail because it's all about trying to get people to click, right? It's like, let me learn more about this thing and see if it's going to do what I want. So like your intuition's probably going to be decent for a lot of this, but you should A/B test. Like this is how it is for when I make a YouTube thumbnail too. I'll have a guess and sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm so wrong on what is the best. And you just have to run some tests to see like, hey, did this get my target market to learn about my thing better? Or did this other thing work? So I was pretty much always wrong. Like pretty much every single time I was always wrong about what was going to do the best.
My favorite example of this is the V4 launch video for the Lumen PMP.
I think we might have told this story before, but it bears repeating.
Yeah, if you haven't heard this, it was Steven thought the video was done and was looking for like basically color correction feedback.
Yeah, it was like minute timing detail stuff. Like I was ready to go.
You were very what do I want to say? You were very bullish that you made the right thing for the right audience.
I think that's perfectly correct. Yes, that is exactly what I thought.
And then we show it to our dear friend, Ro.
Yeah.
And Ro is just like, this is the wrong video for the wrong audience. You need to redo it.
Yep.
And that was just not what Steven wanted to hear.
What was that? I remember we came into work, and this is like 4 days before we were going to launch V4. Yeah. And you sat down, you're like, hey, so I talked with Ro. And he thinks it's super, and we trust Ro's opinion. Like Ro knows what he's talking about. And I think I went through all 5 stages of grief within the span of like 20 minutes. Like at first I was like, no, it's not wrong.
He's wrong.
Yeah. I was like, he's wrong about that. He doesn't understand. And then I sat down, I'm like, well, and then it was bargaining. I'm like, well, can I rework it?
I just need to change it a little.
I just need to change it a little bit. Maybe I just changed some copy. And then I was like, deeply depressed for like 4 minutes. and then I came around and I had acceptance and I'm like, all right, I'm shooting another video.
I'm going back upstairs.
Time to start from scratch.
Yeah. Inconveniently, we had a box that wanted us to delay launch a week. So
right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it worked out. I got more time to polish it.
I accidentally got you more time on that.
Yes. Yeah. That worked out. But you know, that was this goes in line with this of like, you're probably not going to know exactly how to talk to your target market. Even if you know them, even if you are them, you still have a weird perspective on the solution that you're offering. you're gonna fall a lot on like figuring out how to talk to these folks in like an advertising kind of way.
Yeah, this goes back to like the sell me this pen game, or like,
yes,
I'm better at talking about this as 3D printers. An ad for a 3D printer doesn't need to tell them about the extrusion rate per millimeter.
Exactly.
Or the extrusion rate per second. It's about what objects can it make and what would you use the printer for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we kind of learned through stumbling through a lot of this is that there are two kinds of people that we're trying to reach with the Lumen, about the Lumen. And the first one is like people that already know they need a pick and place and they're just trying to find which one they want. Mm-hmm. Great. That's actually pretty easy to hit those people. They know we know probably what they're searching. We know what they're hunting down.
And our spec sheet just needs to be readily accessible to them.
We just need to show up when they search.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one is the groups that don't even know that you can get a pick and place and that it could solve their problem. And that is a much more difficult thing to do because we're like telling this story. You know, we're trying to communicate like, hey, this is going to be beneficial to you. Let me explain why. And in a quick, pithy ad, that is really hard to do. And that's why I think YouTube has worked so well for us, is because we're telling the story. It's the whole arc about like, why is this useful? And it goes along with the reasoning of why this is a useful thing for people. But yeah, we beat our heads against a wall for forever about that to try and bring that out.
I remember seeing somehow we had Facebook syndication between Shopify and Facebook Marketplace. And I'd just be scrolling and I see like staging plate.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like, that's useless.
With absolutely no context. Like, why am I being shown this?
Exactly. I remember that. Yeah. That was like when we first got it plumbed in, it was like, oh, cool. Literally every SKU in our web store is now in Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Hey, need a pick and place? Well, here's feeder connection kit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. The way you talk about this stuff is going to change a lot. Like now we know that there's kind of these two groups of people, of like the people we want to tell the story to and explain like how this can help them. And this is different. This is what made me think about this, is you were talking about 3D printing advertising.
Yeah.
It's like when we made that first launch video and Ro was like, honey, no, this is not the video. I made that video like a 3D printer launch video. Everyone that sees a 3D printer launch video knows what a 3D printer is. They know that it's useful for prototyping and like all the different things that a printer can be useful for. They get it already.
Yeah.
It's about a feature shootout. When you see an ad for an iPhone, you don't see them say, guess what? It also makes calls. Everyone knows what a phone is. Everyone knows what it does. It's about how fast is it? How's the screen? You get into a spec race at that point.
Yeah.
We are not there with pick and place. People don't know that it's even useful to begin with yet. They don't even know that it's an option, most people at least. So it's more about telling the story than it is about a feature shootout. And that's what Ro pretty much told us. So there's lots of types of advertising. That's kind of our precursor. This is like a little bit of what we learned and like kind of how we've dealt with it so far. But there's a lot. We've tried a ton of different ads. Like I think we've dipped our toe in like every major type of way of doing this.
Obviously, we tried social media ads and we learned that the sales cycle is really long.
Yeah.
Sales cycle being like the time between like initial impression and the time to purchase.
Yep.
It's usually longer than a single browser session, which intrinsically makes it hard to track.
Exactly. When you're thinking about buying a pick and place, it is not a thing you decide to do. You learn about a pick and place machine for in-house production and then you're like, oh, cool. And then you buy one like 30 minutes later. It does not work like that. Sometimes you need to talk to your boss. You need to get approval. It takes sometimes upwards of 6 months from the time someone will find out about us and then they'll poke us and be like, we bought it. We had someone write in the other day and they bought it. They heard about us from an event we went to like 3 years ago. and they bought a machine like 3 days ago. It's like, oh, that's a crazy long-term thing. You know what I mean? So part of the reason that it's so hard is that a lot of these social media like advertising platforms, the way they track of like, hey, did this ad make someone buy it? Says like, oh, you're in the same session. Like you saw an ad, you clicked, now you're on our web store. If you buy it in that same session, you can pretty much assume that that ad turned into a conversion or a sale. But people don't do that with Lumen. They see an ad, they click on it, they go, huh, that's interesting. And then they stew on it for 6 weeks. And then they go to Google and they type Opulo. And then they click the first hit, they go to our website and they buy it. So all of our purchases just look like someone randomly knows what Opulo is, searches it, clicks it, buys one immediately. Like it makes no sense to the way these advertising platforms work.
It's like they hit us with an aimbot. Like
they just snipe us and we have no idea where they came from.
Yeah.
There's no track record. There's no like, how do you know who we are? Is like a lot of the energy when we were looking at the analytics, all this stuff of like, we don't know how people are finding out about us.
Yeah. People opt from mobile to laptop.
Yes.
Go straight to buying.
Yeah. They find out about us on mobile. They mostly purchase on laptop. I'm waiting for the day where we make a sale on an LG smart fridge. That's really what I want. I want to see that statistic come through.
I wonder if we can program a discount for purchases on smart fridges.
Dear listener, there's only one way to find out if we've done this already.
Go check.
Yeah, discount Lumen if you buy it from an LG smart fridge. It's a sign that you're cool. Dang, you missed my pun. Whatever, that was cringe as hell. Anyway. But yeah, so like when we tried to do all this stuff, all the ad platforms were like, nothing's converting. Your ads are really bad. And it's like, well, of course, because no one's going to impulse buy a $2,000 machine that has a really niche application. It doesn't make any sense. So it seemed like we failed for all of this stuff. Like it didn't work.
And then we tweaked the parameters a bit more and the ads seemed to be effective. And we ultimately realized that our ads goals wasn't the purchase of a machine. It was like getting to the checkout page or viewing the product page.
Yeah. And then they would show us if we change what the conversion metric was, because like the way that you pretty much, it's like a big PID loop. Like you say like, hey, I want to do this. And then it figures out how to optimize who it shows it to, what demographic, blah, 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 all their crazy, wacky advertising stuff.
Yeah.
And then it figures out how to get the result you want to happen the most. When we set it to selling a Lumen, it never happened because no one ever did that. But when we set it to like signing up for our email newsletter or these other things that are more of like a reasonable precursor to what we were trying to do, then we had some good conversion. And then sometimes that would lead to a purchase months down the road. But when your cycle time, like the amount of time you have to inspect if what you're doing is working, is months, you cannot iterate very quickly. Like it takes, you kind of have to take a few big swings and hope that it works because it takes months for this kind of stuff to show up.
Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. People click the ad, see it, and then leave. We just didn't know. So I think this kind of advertising works best for stuff like a t-shirt or like a cool watch or like something that would work great on Instagram. Like I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'll be on Instagram and I'll see an ad for like something very cool. I'm like, that's a cool Pokemon sweatshirt. I'm going to buy that right now. And then I go and I buy it. And like, I am a perfect example of that kind of quick feedback loop. And they get data from that and they know that it works. And like Lumen is not that way.
You know, that Pokemon hoodie seller was just generously helping you solve a problem.
Yes, I lacked I lacked Pokemon warm Pokemon merch in my life, and they solved that problem. Generously gets under my skin. I don't like generously, but like it's a good point. It's like I have joy in my life that I have this Pokemon sweatshirt now. I love this Pokemon sweatshirt.
They made you aware of a hole you needed to fill with Pokemon merch.
Yes, yeah. And like I okay. Maybe Pokemon merch isn't the best example. I am glad I have it though. I'm happy about it, but like, yeah, it's not super strictly necessary. Let me say this. I'm glad that we're selling a pick and place machine and not Pokemon merch.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's fine to do that, but you know, I'm glad I have that sweatshirt now. So that's more of what it's for. So if you are thinking about going into doing this kind of advertising, I would think heavily about how long your sales cycle is. Is social media advertising, not marketing, not doing organic content, but buying ads on Facebook or Instagram or, you know, LinkedIn. We tried LinkedIn. That didn't work for us at all. We put a ton of money into LinkedIn. Didn't do it. Didn't convert.
Quick cautionary tale here that came to mind was making sure the demographic, making sure the geographic area was properly tuned.
Yes. Like we were running a bunch of ads in places we don't even ship to.
Yeah.
And like, that was a huge waste of money.
But making sure the ad shown locations and shippable locations are synced up.
Are the same.
And then frankly, like, don't pay money to advertise in countries you've never sold something to, even if shipping is allowed there.
Yeah. I mean, that can be different
tough,
because the people in those countries may have never seen your thing before, and maybe they would if they were shown what it is. So like, it could be a red herring, right? If you see that, you know, they're seeing it a lot, but they're not purchasing. Okay. Maybe then check what your shipping cost is to that country. Maybe that's a sign. We caught a couple really expensive shipping places because we saw some countries had a ton of views, no conversions, and we went through and fixed that.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. There's a lot of things where it's like, there are money pits here. So just be aware of those. Check and see where per dollar, where is each dollar of your advertising going to, and is it resulting in conversion? And whether it's views, awareness, purchases, whatever you want.
And maybe even drill into where does it stop short?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it might just be that the ads are great, the shipping was too much.
Yeah, exactly. Or the ads are really interesting and fun to watch, and they actually don't want to buy one. You know, like it just depends. It's so hard to say.
Or the ads are being shown to people who don't understand the native language of the ad. Like,
right. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I was running an English ad in a bunch of countries where English is not primarily spoken. It's like, okay, well, maybe I get some internationalization on the ads, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. There's so many places you can spend a lot of money here, including me. Like, I think I don't know exactly how much it is, but it is a serious amount of money that I put into trying this advertising, and almost all of it resulted in no conversion. Like I think that's one of my biggest flubs here. And well, and also, to be fair, a lot of that was just awareness. Like we did buy many millions of views on our website, you know, which is good, but that's not what we wanted. That wasn't the point.
And like, maybe those millions of views were useless.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if any of them converted. We never will, you know, unless they say, yeah, in 2023, I saw a bunch of ads for it and I've been thinking about it ever since. Like, okay, you know, so I don't know. It's hard to say, but we failed pretty hard on this one. We were treating the Lumen like a t-shirt, and it's not. It's a thing you really need. You have a long sales cycle for. So my cautionary note here is like, know what it is you're selling and be like hyper aware of how long it will take someone to make a consideration, and do advertising that is appropriate.
Facts.
Yep. So yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We still run one on LinkedIn. It's very, very little amount of money every month because it does show some conversion actually. So we keep that one up. Yeah. So, but I think everything else we've pretty much taken down for social media ads.
And I'm glad we tried.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, it was a very expensive mistake, but in the same breath, we know this so definitively now. We know not to do this. So I'm really grateful that we understand this now. I wish maybe it was a little cheaper learning that lesson, but it was a really important one to learn.
And like, as we said up top, it takes a real injection of cash to run certain trials to different ad.
Yeah.
Like I think you were playing like 10 different variables at one point on some stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, it is, to spend much less than that is not, it depends on what you're doing, but like we really ran the gambit. We tested everything. So I'm glad that we were comprehensive about it, but yeah, it was expensive.
It's okay, Steven.
It's fine. I only have serious regrets, not devastating regrets. So I've learned a lot of lessons since then. So that's good.
I'm just glad you can laugh over it.
I very much can, but like, oof, yeah, I think about it sometimes.
That could have been Opulo's Toyota Camry.
Right into the money pit. Yeah, devastating. But we've also tried other types of advertising that did work pretty well for us. Namely, I think this one's probably been the one that's worked the best for us, is search ads.
Yes. So like Google, Bing, Ask Jeeves, rest in peace.
Yes. I don't think we've ever done an Ask Jeeves. Is it dead? Is Ask Jeeves
I think it's
still
just
a thing?
ask.com now.
Is it really? Wow, look at that. We should advertise on ask.com.
Funny enough, people actually treat ChatGPT and AI, like LLMs, as their search engines now, and like our products will even get recommended by those.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have literally had people report that the way they found out about us was ChatGPT, which is wild. But yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. You can't really control that or advertise on that. You just have to be in the zeitgeist and have the crawlers that just slurp up all the data on the internet that trains it on. Yeah, off it goes there. But yeah, search ads have been really good for us.
This has been a viable way of advertising our products for us.
And if you look at our Google workbench for running the ads or whatever, it thinks our ads suck. It thinks our ads are really bad because Google tracks the conversion, just like the Facebook, all the other stuff. But we know it works because we send the survey upon checkout and people say Google ads, Google search. So Google ads platform tells us that our ads are not doing well, but other things, and granted, a lot of this could be organic SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. So just coming up in organic search and not like a paid ad that shows up at the top of search. It could be that. We could just be doing really well there too. But these ads probably are converting long term in a way Google can't see, but in a way that we see from interviewing people.
They don't know, but we do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So for a long sales cycle product, it seems like that's the best way to do it, is have an exit interview and be like, how'd you find out about us? That's kind of what it feels like, is like you just have to ask the person because there's no real other way to know how they found out about you, you know? So yeah, so that's what we do.
Yeah. I'm glad it's there.
Yes, me too. It's so interesting. And especially over time, it's really interesting to see, like, per quarter, we do a review, customer feedback review every quarter, to see how it changes over time of like, My favorite bit is our friends and colleagues recommended portion has exploded over the past like 6 months.
Recommend to a friend.
Oh, it's so cool. It's such a cool thing to see. But that's something that you can't get with any kind of internet tracking. Like any kind of creepy cookie, whatever, that doesn't exist for friends and colleagues. You have to get that from an exit interview. So I feel like that's the best way to do it. That's what feels like the most comprehensive, and it catches everything in one fell swoop. So,
except it still fails to catch the people that didn't buy it. But you could say those might not matter.
Well, yeah, and that's an interesting angle, right? Like if people never say LinkedIn ads got a conversion, maybe our LinkedIn ads were just bad, but it actually has a great reason to convert. Or maybe the people that buy from LinkedIn don't like filling out surveys, and then the survey fill out percentage, like the hit rate on filling out the survey, is not going to be representative. Like there's so many tiers of data loss and like bias and skew through this process. It's very hard to say.
It could even be that heard from a friend is that their friend forwarded them an ad.
Yeah, or sent them a YouTube video, or like, and I mean, that still is forward from a friend, but the YouTube had to happen in order for,
chicken or the egg. Yeah.
Yeah. It gets so gray. So yeah, Google search ads, I think, are great to just leave a little burn. Just feed the machine a little bit for a couple keywords and like phrases that work really well. And this is what we talked about at the top of the show, of like, or not the top, but a little bit earlier, where, people know they already need one.
And what problem they're trying to solve.
Like if people are like, I need a pick and place, and they search pick and place, great. We should capture them with search. But if they're like, I need to get my boards assembled, telling the story of the Lumen PMP can assemble your boards in-house is a little harder to do in a Google search ad, but we still try. And I don't know if they convert. We don't know. We don't have that granularity in our survey, but.
Yeah. Another type of ads we've tested is platform ads.
Yes.
So this would be like having a native ad run on a website.
Yes. Yeah. Like working with a direct, which is kind of like a subset of like Facebook or Instagram. It's like, it's just not some of the big three. It's like smaller websites that have their own ability to show ads, you know?
And for us, like, we talked to the parent company of Hackaday, Supply Frame, and we were able to get ads on Tindy and Hackaday. We thought this is where the builders of circuit boards are hanging out.
Yes.
Let's get some ads here.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be able to like have our peers see our ad content.
Yes. Yeah. It was cool. It was really cool. I think ultimately like our audience didn't quite perfectly overlap with the folks on these platforms. And Supply Frame has a lot of really cool other platforms, like places to buy chips and stuff. And I'm trying to remember. I think we explored that a little bit with them, trying to be on these other places. But what we kind of realized is like people are too late. Like at Hackaday, they might be really too early in the development cycle. I mean, everyone reads Hackaday. So, I don't know how much about where you are in the development cycle matters for Hackaday, but there wasn't enough overlap in Hackaday readership and the people we know now are buying the machine most that it paid for itself. I mean, there's still plenty of overlap, but not enough. And in Tindy, people were already making their hardware on Tindy. They've already had a solution. They figured it out, and the Lumen could be better, but again, not enough people to justify paying for the ad on that platform. So we tried it, but it was great for, I think, for a lot of other things, but for the Lumen, it just didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. It made me feel like it gave us more credibility than like actual sales.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. I don't know. It just didn't make sense.
And like two kind of funny points, like Steven's the weird circuit board guy on YouTube. Like,
all right, business boy, weird circuit board guy on YouTube.
Like, I'd hazard to guess that if someone's reading a Hackaday article about a weird use of circuit boards, I wouldn't be shocked if they're aware of Steven's channel.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a good point. There might be a fair amount of overlap.
Like, I don't want to assume it's 1-to-1, but like, are you paying to get someone's impression twice?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Wow. Why did I not think about that earlier?
Steven Mind Blowers. I love doing it.
What did you say, Lucy's Mind Blowers?
No, I said Steven Mind Blowers.
Oh, that's right, because I'm the one with my mind getting blown. Yeah.
There you go. And then, so that's something to stew on. But also, like, our customers are interesting technical people, by and large. Which kind of tracks with near 1-to-1 parity of ad blocker usage.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point.
Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen an ad on any website I browse, because I have my custom bespoke ad blocker settings.
Right.
And like some of our customers even like tune their router to block ads.
Yeah, they have
like,
Pi-hole set up on their home lab or, you know, yeah.
So if you have really technical like customers or prospective customers, like, yeah, they might just not ever see this stuff.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's super true. Super true. So yeah, I don't know. That didn't work super well for us, but that's not to say it won't for you. If you find like a really good fit for your use case or something, like so many of people that would run ads on the platforms that SupplyFrame had, like their chip marketplace or whatever, were companies like TI showing a cool new chip. Like when you're on that platform, you're thinking about what chip should I use, and an ad applies there. And like, it just wasn't a good fit for the Lumen and where you might be in the development cycle. It just didn't make sense.
I remember as like a reader of Popular Science or Make Magazine, like it was real fun to see the DIY kits being sold in the back of the magazine.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is awesome. Print ads can be very successful for lots of different things. It's actually something we've tried.
Yes. Yeah, we have. We've tried doing ads in magazines before too, which is like cool because I don't know. I like that we tried a little bit of everything. And we did the way we tried to do tracking for magazine ads. Aside from, we didn't even have the exit survey at the time, but we had a QR code that we could track how many conversions we got. And that code was in the magazine. And we got some conversions to the website. But from there, whether or not they bought it, we still don't know. I don't think we've had many, if at all, people respond to our survey. And granted, this is way after we ran these ads, so I wouldn't really expect this to be the case, that we got a sale conversion from it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it depends on the magazine and your market. Like I remember seeing ads for Lulzbot in Make Magazine when I was in high school or early college or something. And I ended up buying a Lulzbot for like one of my first 3D printers.
And I bet you didn't scan a QR code.
And I didn't scan a QR code. And you know what? I never told anyone from Lulzbot that was why I knew about them. So it's so hard to say, but so it does work. And like, that was I was a maker looking for a 3D printer, reading Make Magazine. And I saw that ad and it resulted in, I have given them over $3,500 in my life. Like that's a great conversion point. So it's hard to say. It depends.
This reminds me of something I say to like followers of the Lumen PMP project a lot at events where people walk up to me and be like, I love the Lumen PMP. I don't need one, but I love what you guys are doing. And I go, that's great. I just want you to know it exists. Like the goal is to let people know that this is a solution that's here for them when they think they need it.
Exactly. Because whenever they say I don't need it, it's like, well, one day you will.
Yeah.
And one day someone you know might. And like, that's fine. I don't want you to buy it if you don't need it.
Yeah.
I want you to tell people that might need it at some point because then they can solve their problem for them.
Yeah. I consider someone walking up to me and saying that a win.
Yes.
Like, obviously, I want to hear that they have one and love it. But second to that, I want to hear that they're aware of it and they know to buy one when they think it's the right answer.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. 100%. Just that awareness is big.
And like,
so
yeah. And print ads really help at building that awareness for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, you think about weird pull here. Bob's Discount Furniture. I don't know. I think this is a pretty American centric company. So forgive all the European listeners of this company. There's a company that sells furniture and they have a lot of intense ads.
Lots of puppets.
Lots of puppets. Yeah. It's called Bob's Discount Furniture. And it's a thing. Like it's a thing here. I know about it because their ads are crazy. And like I have thought about going there because I just know it's in the zeitgeist. Or like Empire Today, the carpet, 1-800-588-2300 Empire, like that jingle is in my head. And like, I was thinking about getting carpet in my house. I literally went to Empire because I'm like, who else does carpet? I don't know. I went to their website.
You're making me think we need to do something unhinged in a print ad, like have a scratch and sniff.
Ooh, it smells like solder paste.
Yeah,
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. We should. Okay. Anyone that buys a Lumen on a smart fridge and anyone that scratches an ad in a magazine and sniffs it, you get a discount code.
There you
go. New weird marketing ploys.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
As fun as it was to do print advertising and like, oh my God, the legitimacy felt like to have a print ad and like frame it.
It was cool.
It was so cool.
Yep.
But it was hard to track the conversion and it didn't really seem to pay its keep.
Yep.
At least for us.
At least for us. For our approach, it was less of a thing. A great thing to do that we did in especially a lot of our early customer interviews, we don't really do it anymore, but finding out where people go for their media. Like in every single early V2 user interview that we do, I would say, when you're bored, what do you do on your phone? And we would get Instagram. I did a ton of these. So many people for us said Reddit, which is devastating because Reddit is one of the hardest places to go for advertising because ads are treated like absolute vile scum on Reddit. And anyone that tries to, so many subreddits are super like antithetical to the idea of like sharing organic content that you made just for the sake of it being cool. Like
So weird.
Reddit is very weird about content. So, but that was one of the strongest signals that I got was like early users are Redditors. Like, okay, that's where we can reach people. So interviewing your customers of like, hey, where do you go? Go to the watering hole meet them where they're at. Find where they're looking. Do they read magazines? Run magazine ads. Do they watch QVC? Get your product on QVC. Do you know what QVC is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if that's a weird old poll.
We should say what it is for the international audience.
That's true. QVC is an American television channel where you go and you watch. It's literally...
It's surreal.
It is an ad. The whole show, it's 24/7, except for Christmas Day. My mom had it on all the time.
What do they do on Christmas Day?
They just have it play reruns, but it's still, you can still give them money. It is an ad all the time. It is a constant ad. And they just like show you, oh, we have this cool new jewelry in, call this number and you can buy it. And they have customers that bought it call in and say how much they love it. And like, it's a surreal, it's fascinating. QVC is very, very interesting. Quality, value, convenience is what it stands for.
Good memory.
Thank you. I watched a lot of it as a kid. My mom had it on the background. But if that works for you, if your user base watches QVC, if you're trying to sell something to my mom, get on QVC, you know, like you just got to understand where they're looking and go there, meet them where they're at.
Yeah. And that could be anywhere.
Yep. It could be anywhere.
I really want Opula to advertise on a blimp or like like a sign towed by a plane.
As long as that plane is over a collection of people that might need a pick and place, then I'm in.
Okay. If we did that on CES day, that like during setup hours, like when the vendors are coming in.
Oh, for the vendors, not for the attendees.
Not for the attendees.
That's cheeky. That's why we advertised on Tindy. It wasn't for the people that go on Tindy. It's for the people that sell on Tindy. And that was the best way we could find to try and reach those specific people is just advertise on Tindy.
But you're a YouTuber. How much time do you have for watching YouTube?
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't watch as much YouTube as I used to. That's for sure. Yeah.
So advertising is one of those topics where it's hard to see the input and output correlate.
It is. The last one is sponsorships for events, which we've done a couple of times here.
Yeah, you had a giveaway Lumen for a soldering contest at SuperCon.
That's true. Yeah, we sponsored SuperCon.
That was fun.
Like, gosh, what was it? 3 years ago now? 3 years ago?
That was real ironic because we decided to award a pick and place machine to whoever came in. Was it first? First place for a hand soldering competition.
Yeah, actually, we should have given it to whoever came in last. But at SuperCon every year, they have a SMT challenge where they hand solder really tiny components. And in retrospect, it's kind of silly, but we gave the winner of that competition a pick and place. They need it the least. They're great at hand soldering small parts. They don't need it. We should have given it to the loser.
That would have been what a last minute switcheroo.
The problem is I competed and I think I might have been in last. So that would have been silly. So yeah, that's a thing. Talking to the people at the event was really the biggest thing, I think, more so than like having our name be on some of the banners. I don't know if that really ever did any conversion, you know?
Sometimes it's about supporting the event outright, and sometimes it's about having your name on a big screen.
Yes.
At the event hall, like when they scroll through their sponsors.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
And it can feel good to see your name up there, but it can be hard to see an ROI. But sometimes it just feels real good to know you're supporting an event that you're proud to be at.
That's true. Some events and like donations that we make even are like just because we want an organization or a thing to exist. But yeah, I think a lot of it is like you want the event to do well. But yeah, I don't know. Sponsorships are an interesting one. Like there's a different angle of like, I think it's like public awareness, credibility. I know sometimes when I look at a list of companies that sponsored an event, I'm like, oh, wow, so-and-so sponsored a thing. That says something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it says exactly, but there's some value there.
It's street cred.
It's street cred. And also if it's a cool event and it's when you want to help out, I think that's maybe the most reason you want to sponsor an event, because the sponsorship may not really return an ROI. You kind of want to just, it may not. I don't know. It depends on the event.
It can be a homie thing.
It can be a homie thing.
That can be okay.
Yes. Totally.
Like sometimes like it's honestly more important to be at the event. Like have a booth there if you're sponsoring it.
Yeah, I think so. It's about talking to the people.
Yeah.
And like the connections are the most useful thing from the event. So yeah, totally agreed. So it's technically kind of a form of advertising and sponsoring the event, but it heavily dips into our events episode and like going to an event.
Yeah. Now, another form of sponsorship, if we want to talk about it, would be sponsoring a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's true. You totally can sponsor a YouTube channel. And this is weird because I've only ever been in the position where I've received a sponsorship from a company. We've never sponsored a YouTube channel before.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet, at least. And it's something I think we definitely want to do at some point down the road. But yeah, this is an interesting one because I've worked with some companies that were wonderful to work with. And I've worked with some companies that were dreadful to work with. And like, yeah.
So you've been on the other side of the fence. So it's probably hard for you to gauge the ROI or the companies that you've worked with.
Yeah. And I think I always feel weird. I don't know. I as a, you know, my channel's not huge. It's decently big, but it's not huge. So I think I always have a bit of a feeling of like, are you sure you want to? You know, it's like, do you really feel like the value is here for you? Like, I want to make, just like we talk with marketing, it has to make sense for both sides. Like, I only want to do it if they're very stoked to have me talk about what the thing they're doing. And I have to be jazzed about what they make.
For a successful placement of a product on a YouTube channel, they're piggybacking off the credibility of the channel.
Yeah.
They're getting shown to an audience they might not have already captured.
Yep.
And it's the synergy between the YouTuber and the product can be really cool to see.
Yeah.
Like watching you make circuit boards with that fiber laser was awesome.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a good point. I don't know. Like I'd like to do it at some point. I think it would be a cool approach. I think, you know, my whole channel was based on the whole starting the company thing anyway. So it already feels like we have the YouTube box checked a little bit, but it would be cool to send some out to a bunch of other folks and have them use it and show it off and all that kind of thing. You know, like it'd be cool.
I want to see like the traveling Lumen that goes from YouTuber to YouTuber.
The flat Stanley Lumen.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
It just gets flattened.
Right. Or just send them to them. You know, just send a bunch of machines around to a bunch of people and, you know, see what they make with it and all that. It would be super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, weirdly, we can't really speak to this despite our heavy involvement with YouTube. We've never done it the other way around. I only know what it's like to work with a company. When we ultimately do it, I know exactly how we're going to do it because I know what sucks and what doesn't working with a company.
It's definitely one we'll have to follow up on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe we'd follow up on it later. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's a whole other thing you can approach down the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check it out.
Check it out.
All right. I think that's all we could say on advertising for now. All right, folks, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps us out a ton. You can learn more about Opulo at opulo.io, as well as YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. You can email us at podcast@opulo.io with questions or comments on the episode. To keep up to date with the podcast and Opulo, sign up for our newsletter where we write blog posts and conduct customer interviews with other folks building open hardware. That's it. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya. I had a perfect Donald Duck for about an hour and then I lost it. Just like how I had a perfect... Yeah.
What? How did you have it for an hour? That's the craziest thing I've ever... How did you have a perfect Donald Duck impression for... What happened in that hour? What about that hour let you do... That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. What? I don't know. What happened?
I got shot by Elmer Fudd. It was over.